Somewhere over the rainbow, Tim. Somewhere over the rainbow, dreams do come true, Coach. Dreams do come true. Now, Coach, you talk about the kitchen of Grandma Lily's dreams, which we, of course, understand was actually the kitchen of your dreams. And then now you're talking about how some dreams can become nightmares if you don't avoid certain dreams. They can become nightmares. It's like somewhere over the rainbow, Coach. You talk about avoiding certain dreams before they become nightmares. We can understand that, Coach. Somewhere over the rainbow. Way up high, Coach. Way up high, Coach. You got to raise the standard of your thinking, Coach. Okay? Don't wallow in the muck, Coach. Don't wallow in the deception, Coach. Raise your standard way up high. There's a land that some folk dream of, Coach. Some people say it's in a lullaby. Yes, it's in a lullaby. It's in a dream, Coach. Somewhere over the rainbow, Coach. Dreams can come true. Now, if only you had listened to Megan when you guys were talking about those porta huts. And Megan said, well, I need to crunch the numbers. And you cut her off. You like, Megan, I already crunched the numbers. And it's a go. And Megan was like, hold on now. We need to crunch the numbers. We're talking about the real numbers. We're not talking about the fictional numbers. And so she was like, hubby / boo / IAG God / Pastor Tim. We need to crunch the numbers and see if it works out. Coach, if you had listened to her back then, you would not have wasted precious time thinking that you could pursue this porta hut business in a profitable fashion, Coach. I know, of course, I know that your initial thought was that, hey, there's a glimmer here. I know that was your initial thought. And of course, you thought that you could get some of your faithful supporters, some of your faithful subscribers. You're faithful. You're foolish. Don't call them foolish. All right, I'm sorry. You're foolhardy, Tim Faithful. You thought that you could get some of them to unknowingly order some of those porta huts and put them on their property. If only you promised to pray over them. If only you promised to lay hands on those porta huts. Then some of you goofy Tim Goonies would say, hey, I'll take one. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but I'll take one. Let me get one of those porta huts. If only my Pastor Tim is willing to pray over it and lay hands on that hut. But Coach, your dreams can come true if you open your ears. If you open your heart, Coach, dreams can come true. They can come true, Coach. But all right. Before I get to my reaction to the recent IAG Farms video, where they talk about making a decision on the porta huts and the dream and the nightmare, some porta hut dream that we were aware of before. Before I get to my reaction, I do have to recognize you guys that have been active in the comments. Keep that dialogue flowing. Definitely keep that commentary going both ways. I hear what you guys have been saying. You Ready Tim writers, I hear you guys loud and clearly. You guys are speaking with the voice of Tim. Burner Tim? Oh, the reason why it sounds like the voice of Tim is because half of them are Burner Tim. Well, I hear what you guys are saying. Burner Tim and the Tim bits. I hear what you guys are saying in the comments. Captain. Some captain you are. You guys are saying, hey, if you were the captain, then you would know that there's Bible scripture that says, shall a man rob God? And to us faithful followers, Tim is God. Hopefully they're talking about the G-A-double-D. But they're saying that Tim is our God. He's the IAG God. And as such, if we want to donate, if we want to pay tithes or offerings, or both, to our pastor, to our IAG God, then so be it. Who are you, Captain, to scrutinize how we decide to give and who we decide to bless, Captain? Who are you? And I hear you guys. I hear you guys saying, hey, Captain, we know that timliness is next to godliness. And as such, we will not rob our IAG God. We'll donate. We'll offer. We'll tithe. Through the mail, through the Cash App, through the Venmo. It's what we'll do for our God. And I hear you guys. I hear you guys. You be wilding in the comments, but I hear you guys. And as such, I'm going to keep digressing. I'm going to keep digressing. Welcome back to the end game, where today I'm going to provide my reaction to the recent IAG Farms video about the Porta Hut Dream. I'm also going to give a quick snippet, which I might as well do first. I also viewed the video where they were talking about living in the barn. I guess they lived in the barn for 9 months by choice. And Tim is taking this walk down memory lane, as he likes to do with you faithful followers. He likes to take this walk down memory lane and tell you guys what they used to do, the ministry that they used to have, the homesteading that they used to perform, the cabin slash shack slash porch that they used to live on or in. And so he walks down the memory lane and he talks about how they were in this barn and what have you. I'm going to give a quick reaction to that because there's not much notable there other than the fact that he's dwelling in the memory lane of it all. He talks about the fact that they're going to now use that barn. They're going to use that shack for their chicken or their poultry processing. And of course, I'm like, oh, well, that probably would be suitable. You might want to check with the USDA to see if that's going to be, if that's going to meet their standards. I'm sure they have certain standards. If you're going to share any of that meat with some of your neighbors or with some people in your area or your town or what have you. But it seems to me like it might be suitable for chicken processing, poultry processing. And so I thought that was nice to hear, nice to see. You talked about the fact that Megan cleaned out the barn slash shed shack once again. She had already cleaned it out, what, a few weeks ago? Maybe a month ago? She had already cleaned out that barn by herself, where you just came in and did a little bit of the sweeping up after the fact. You did a little bit of the heaviest of the lifting. And although you strained to do the work that Megan had already been doing before you chipped in, before you took a break from your editing to chip in. I was happy that you did come down and you actually helped her a little bit. But we know that Megan spent hours cleaning out that barn the first time. And now, once again, now that you're looking at doing some poultry processing, Megan had the task of cleaning it out yet again. And we're still talking about the same hernia-afflicted Megan that we previously talked about, cleaning out that barn while you sat up on your big old. But that was the only thing that was notable, other than you also mentioned that one of your subscribers, one of your faithful subscribers, one of your Ready Tim writers, they donated you guys a rug. Looks like maybe about a 4x7 rug, 4x6 rug, 3x5 rug for you guys to slip underneath that coffee table. And they almost donated some corner protectors so that little Benjamin is not banging his head up against there. And I thought that was very thoughtful for those subscribers to recommend those corner protectors. Now, although it was nice that you guys got that plush rug, unfortunately, it will be useless within that cramped single wide. You talked about moving the coffee table so that little Benjamin could get around and frolic. He could frolic around on that little rug. And you implied that all the boys could get in there on that little rug and frolic, do what little boys do. I'm like, hold on a second. Okay, it's already cramped. Okay, it's barely enough space for Benjamin to play by himself. You really think that 3 other boys, age 5, 7, and 9, or 6, 8, and 10, you really think that growing 3 growing boys could play in that minuscule space? And I'm like, okay, come on, coach. Come on, coach. But all right. Now, I was all set when you talked about acknowledging that you received the donation from your subscriber. I was all set to say, okay, we know that my coach does not celebrate holidays. But holy moly, what about Thanksgiving, coach? What about Thanksgiving? Okay. For months and years, we've seen you accept gifts. We've seen you accept those tips with nary a thank you. Okay. Never giving thanks, never showing any gratitude. And I was all set to say, okay, coach, enough is enough, coach. Send me their name, coach. I'll send them some type of thank you notice, some type of thank you note, maybe a thank you card, coach. Just give me the name, coach. But fortunately, later on in the video, coach, you made good. You made good on the emails that you're supposedly getting from some of your viewers. And by emails, I mean you made good on the comments that you've seen within these reaction channels. You made good, coach. And you finally gave some gratitude. You showed some gratitude. And you gave some thanks to those subscribers. And I'm like, all right, coach, progress by any means necessary. That's progress. And so you did give thanks. You did indicate that although you're highly successful, you did indicate that although you have these various businesses, and although you're so well off that you can have investment property and other investments, although you're so well off and so successful that if subscribers want to bless you, because you guys are all in favor of giving, and of course the giving that you're referring to is the giving that they do to you. We're definitely not talking about the giving that you push out to others. We're not talking about the giving that you hand out to your community. We're not talking about the giving that you do to some of your subscribers. We're talking about the giving that they do toward you. And you say, hey, we're all in favor of it. Remember, we're about the cheerful giving of others, not ourselves. We're cheerful gift takers. And don't you forget it. But I'm like, okay, coach. Okay, coach. But that was it. That was really it that I saw in that video about them living in the barn for the 9 months. So the majority of my reaction here is going to be related to the video about them. What were they talking about? The video, the IAG Farms video, where they're talking about avoiding the dream, the porta hut dream. So I'm going to provide my reaction to that video here. Early in this porta hut dream video, Tim talks about some type of bet that they had within their household of when the sheep were going to drop their first offspring, when they were going to drop, and what sheep was going to be first to drop it, and what month it was going to happen. And apparently the dates were written on a piece of paper. And I guess Titus was chosen to be the reader of the scroll. And I'm like, hold on now. Timothy Jr. is the oldest. Shouldn't he be the more advanced or the most advanced in his literacy? Shouldn't he be the most advanced in his reading skills? Why is it that Titus, the one that you've appointed to be the leader of the boys, aside from yourself, but you appointed Titus to be the leader of boys, why is he doing the reading? Okay. Is there something that you're not telling us, coach? But Titus goes about reading that paper. And you can see Megan in the background, being the mama bear that she is. You can see her in the background gritting her teeth. And she's like, boy, Tim. And she's talking about Tim Sr. She's like, boy, Tim Sr., boy, how dare you? How dare you put my boys on blast? How dare you put my boys' literacy or lack thereof on Front Street? How dare you put their reading deficiencies on center stage? How dare you? So Mama Bear, she's back there and she's boiling. You can see her boiling back there. And so Titus goes about reading the little scroll with the dates on it. And of course he struggles. Even being the leader of the boys, he struggles. And Dad chimes in with his little bit of literacy. And he's like, okay, at least I completed 3rd or 4th grade before I started running the streets. And so Titus, let me help you out with April. That says April. And he's like, well, that says March. And that says May. And yeah, that's Titus. And so you do recognize him. Yeah, that is Titus. Like, Titus, that's you. Like, that spells Noah. That's Noah. That's Junior. And that's Mom. And we're like, holy moly. Good gracious. Okay. You talked about Titus being the leader of men. I'm starting to worry. I am starting to worry. You talked about how Timothy Jr. is the strong one. I'm starting to worry. Okay, so based on what you shared with us out of your own mouth, 2 of the 3 boys, might be 2.5 out of the 3 boys, have certain deficiencies. And whether it be language development, whether it be reading, whether it be writing, arithmetic, whether it be physical, 2 to 2.5 out of the 3 boys have certain deficiencies. And so to this point, we're counting on baby Benjamin. Baby Benjamin, we're counting on you. Okay, because Tim already indicated that he has an empty vessel in Noah. He indicated that he has a strong one in Timothy Jr. And then he has a leader, just a leader. That's all he is a leader. He has a leader in Titus. And so we're going to need one of the 4. We're counting on you, baby Benjamin. Okay. We're counting on you to be the brains of the group. Yes. All of those genes, they all can't come from my coach, Tim. All right. We know that Megan is the smart one of the household. And so, baby Benjamin, we're counting on you to be the smartest of the boys. Bring that intelligence, push that genealogy from Megan, okay? Fight against the genealogy from Timothy. We need you to represent the genealogy, represent the intelligence, represent that mindset, that problem solving that Megan she may be able to pass on to you, little Benjamin.
What the bet was. We had a friendly competition going on about who could guess when the first baby sheep was gonna be born. And so Titus has the paperwork here to let it be known. Let's see. So who got the closest? Call it out. So Tim, who's that? Tim Jr.?
Tim, April 7th.
Okay.
Titus.
June.
Titus, June 13th.
31st.
Noah.
March
27th.
Mm-hmm.
Mom.
April
April
like
17th.
Uh-huh. And Dad.
Yeah.
February 15th. We ain't got to talk about it no more.
No.
When did Dad guess?
February 15th.
No. It says 5/5. That's May 5th.
I thought they were going to be late having babies, but they were early.
Noah got closest.
Noah got the closest. Noah, you get the prize.
What's the prize?
What day did he guess, Titus? What was Noah?
March.
No.
March 27th. Yep, he's the only one that guessed in March. We all thought it was going to be April.
Also wrote them, so he might have mixed it up too.
Oh, yeah. No, he didn't mix it up. Noah, good job, buddy.
Later in the video, Megan talks about all of the poultry that she's ordered. I guess she's ordered some feeder chickens and some hens and some ducks and turkey. And so she talks about all of the poultry that she's ordered. She's ordered some 70 plus poultry. And Tim talks about, he reminds us because he said it before. He reminds us that he's hesitant. He avoids doing math on camera because he doesn't want to embarrass himself. And of course, those of us that are longtime viewers, we know that means that he avoids doing math altogether. And it's not so much the camera that's the issue. He wants to avoid doing that math if Megan is anywhere within earshot, okay? Because if Megan can hear the math that is dribbling, okay, from Tim's mouth, certainly she won't be able to resist. The educator in her, the education in her won't allow her to sit there and just listen to that flawed math, that faulty math that will be sure to come. So he talks about not doing it on camera. We know that means that you don't do it at all, Tim. We know it. We're certain that you don't do that math at all. Now, I do need to remind you, Coach, okay, those boys are listening to everything that comes out of your mouth. All right? Certainly there's a script, and so they know when they're supposed to speak up on something. They know what their proper responses are to certain questions. Like, are you guys excited? And yeah. What do you guys think about the day? What do you think the day is? And is it good? So they know what the proper response is based upon the scripting. But aside from the scripting, when they're in the background, they're still listening, Coach. Okay? And it's not just the deception that they hear, Coach. All right? It's not just the tales, the tall tales, and the white lies that they hear, Coach. They hear everything that comes forth, Coach. And some of those things you're not going to be able to correct off camera, Coach. You won't be able to correct some of those things. But we understand, Coach. But one thing I cannot fully understand is, how is it that you're so hesitant about embarrassing yourself with math facts on camera, but you don't have a problem speaking up about these mythical issues? You don't have a problem talking about fiction, these fictional tales. You don't have a problem with that, Coach. So what's the difference between talking about factual math and talking about some fictional stories? Well, some people say that the numbers don't lie, but fiction does.
Barn, and then kind of cleaning out all that old hay and stuff like that. And Megan's gonna get in the inside and clean out the inside because what are we getting ready for?
Ditties. So
lots and lots of chickens.
We've got lots of.
Before you say anything, just tell us how many chickens, ducks, and turkeys did you order all together?
Together, I can't even. I have to count them all up.
Just give me a round number.
Maybe like 70 or
70. Did y'all hear that? 70. She ordered 70 poultry between ducks, chickens, turkeys. We might have got an ostrich and a flamingo. They had those for order too. Yeah. Go ahead. 25 what?
I have 25 meat birds coming, and then 10 ducks and 10 turkeys. So that's 45. And then I have 28 laying hens and
It's gonna get busy around here. Y'all know we already.
What's that, around 70? A little less than 70.
You know I don't do math on camera. I'm not gonna embarrass myself. What you think, Beverly? What you think, bud?
Between 70 and 80, somewhere in there.
A bit later in the video, Tim talks about the boys finishing up their farm chores by themselves. Okay, because of course Megan, I guess she's prepping herself for hernia surgery. And heaven forbid that my coach and y'all's pastor, you guys want to donate to him? How about you donate donate him a set of helping hands? You want to donate him donate some helping hands to your pastor. Okay? But anyway, in any case, the boys, they finished their farm chores on their own. Tim talks about, hey guys, how does it feel to complete those chores like men? And I'm like, hold on now, coach. We're talking about a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old, maybe a 9-year-old. All right. The 5-year-old is just past being a toddler. And so what are we talking about being men for? All right. They don't have mature minds yet. They don't have mature bodies yet. They definitely don't have mature attitudes yet, coach. And coach, I understand. I understand that when you're sent to prison as a youth, you have to grow up quickly. I do understand, coach. You have to grow up quickly when you're behind bars. When you're incarcerated, you got to grow up quickly. And coach, I do understand that when you're in gangs, okay, When you're in gangs, you have to man up quickly. I do understand that also, coach. But these are boys. These are babies, coach. What is the rush, coach? What is the rush for a 5, a 7, a 9, or 10-year-old to become men? What's the rush? And I can only imagine that the only rush must be that the sooner that they man up, the less of a man that you'll have to represent on that farm. Yes? If you can accelerate those 3 boys toward manhood, then you can just shrink back and do what you do in the background. Yes? If you can accelerate those boys to becoming men, then and only then could you truly indicate, you could truly label yourself as being an alpha male. Okay? Because then in that case, you would have some other men walking around. Come on, coach.
It's been amazing to have them doing that. So, boys, have y'all been enjoying doing all the farm chores by yourself? Boys, have y'all been enjoying doing all the farm chores by yourself? Boys, have y'all been enjoying doing all the farm chores by yourself?
Yeah.
And then it's like, as y'all are doing these farm chores, y'all are seeing direct fruit from that, right? Because I told y'all probably about 3 weeks ago to start giving the sheep a double portion of grain and hay and things like that to get them ready for having babies. And so now this is direct fruit. This baby here, this healthy baby, and this mama who has enough milk to feed the baby and everything, and enough energy, you know, because sometimes if the moms are like low on nutrition, that's a reason why they won't feed their babies as well. So this is direct fruit from y'all doing the farm chores well. So how does that feel as men? How does that feel as men? As men, like what does that do to your faith and you know, all that type of stuff?
Good.
Feels good, huh?
It makes my faith feel strong.
That's right. You know that you raised something up and you know nurtured it and it's able to bear fruit. You know. How about you, Tim?
And it's amazing how what you give the sheep more grain, it produces fruit. It's a healthy baby. It probably wouldn't have been.
Near the end of the video, Megan explains to us their rationale for not pursuing that porta hut business, even though Tim had that glimmer in his eye. She tells us that once they crunched those numbers, they made the decision. And then she says, well, no, once Jesus told us, we made the decision. He's like, no, the numbers didn't make sense for our family. And she's like, no, we weren't led. We weren't led. And I'm like, okay, Megan, which way? Is it the numbers that steered you away from it? Is it being led by God? Was it Jesus? Which was it? Was it you guys doing some type of stair stepping that you referred to? It's kind of a jumbled mess, Megan. Tim, he's gotten good at spinning the truth. He's gotten good at it. Yes, he's gotten it to the point where his ready Tim riders, they'll believe whatever he says, even if he turns around and says something different moments later. But Megan, you got to go in one direction and stick with it. All right. But you told us that you guys are not going to pursue that business. And we're like, thankfully. Now, we do know that if my coach Tim had just listened to you in the first place, if he had just listened in the first place, if he had set aside his deficiencies with arithmetic in the first place, if he had set aside his deficiencies in making sound business judgments, then you guys could have arrived at that decision a lot sooner. But thankfully, you guys have decided to focus on other matters. None of them which include farming and none of them which include ministry. But you're going to focus on other things, namely Facebook or YouTube, I should say. I'm sorry, not Facebook. I guess you guys graduated from Facebook, but you're going to focus namely on YouTube at this point. I respect the fact that you guys decided to have a little bit more direction. I definitely respect it at this point.
buy them at wholesale prices and sell them at retail. And you know, at that point, like I say, we did like crunch some numbers and things and try to figure out if we wanted to become a licensed dealer, because we kind of have flowed and operated in that market before, because we sold dog kennels. But once we did the numbers, we found out that
Yeah, we just decided that it wasn't worth it for us and our family.
once we did the numbers, we found out that
Yeah, we just decided that it wasn't worth it for us and our family. So we just feel like at this point, the Lord has us establishing more and more abundantly. So it's kind of like a stair step that the Lord has us on. And so we felt like this was kind of like a new path. Instead of building on what we were already doing, and we just didn't feel led to move forward and become a dealer. We just didn't feel led to move forward and become a dealer.
once we did the numbers, we found out
Yeah, we just decided that it wasn't worth it for us.
But all right, that's it. That's it for my reaction to that IAG Farms video where they're talking about the Porta Hut dream, putting that dream to bed. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Chop it up in the comments. Tim and the heavies, I expect to see you guys in the comments doing what you do. I want to shoot out some love to my current subscribers. Thank you for showing me that love. Thank you. I thank you guys for showing me that love. I do celebrate Thanksgiving. I'm not like my coach, Tim. But thank you for showing me that love. For those viewers that have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing so that we can continue to shine that light. Until next time.